Back here in Hershey as the Crunch begin the season tonight against the Hershey Bears. It's the first of 76 games for the Crunch. On Countdown at Crunch Time, I'm Lukas Favale, joined by Crunch Head Coach Ben Groulx. Ben, the season gets underway tonight. What are some of the emotions that go through, you as the season begins?
Well, you know what? You're always nervous when you always have the butterfly inside because it's an all-new season, and as much as you think that you're ready, you don't know until you play the first game, and you want to know where you're at in terms of system, in terms of your young guys, how they're going to react to play against a good team, but also in a very nice building, good crowd, and all that. So it's always exciting. I think I expect our guys to be a little bit nervous at first, but I also expect them to be pumped and play the way we can play.
And you mentioned, the nice crowd here in Hershey, probably going to be a sellout. And you're having a morning skate this morning to try to just get on the ice for a bit. But how do you, maybe keep those emotions in check a bit with a big crowd and a young team that you got here?
You know what? We talk to our players about it, and for us, it's a hockey game. Like, we've been playing hockey for years, and if they're on our team, it's because they're pretty good hockey players. So it's a fun time to start the year. It's a fun time. I think it's a fun time to start the year here in Hershey, and it's an opportunity for us to display what we can do.
We've seen now a couple of weeks of practice and a couple of preseason games. You saw these guys down in Tampa Bay as well. So what is your sense of where this team is as they head into game number 1 tonight?
I'd like to think that we're way more structured offensively. I think we got a lot to work on defensively, and you know what, in neutral zone as well. But it's early, and we got to go step by step. It's useless to try to skip steps and try to go too fast. You gotta do what you do best, and it's skating, it's passing the puck, play with audacity. And if we do that, we'll be fine.
And we talked about, throughout the course of the preseason here, the start this team had last year, 4-9-1-2, was a young group. And another young group here, there's 13 or 14 guys who are 21 years or younger. I mean, it's a really young team. So what lessons did you learn from that start last year that you try to bring this year?
Well, I don't think there's no lesson to learn. I think it's more the fact that we don't want to end up there again this year. We know how tough it was on everyone, and what we had to do after to turn the corner. So for us, it's a matter to pay attention every day at what we have to accomplish, pay attention to what's necessary to do for each and every one to be successful, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
As you look at the Crunch taking on the Bears tonight, it's, again, a young team, as we've talked about. Obviously a lot last year, and it's again this year. For a first game like this, how important are those veteran players who are playing, that been around for a few years to maybe try to settle the group down for the first game?
Yeah, very important. Like, you know what? I've been very impressed with our group here. The Cameron Gauntz, Dumont, Andreoff, Labrie, Eddie Pasquale. I think those guys, they've been very sharp. Not only on the ice, but off the ice as well. And it's good to see that your room's in good hand, and you can trust those guys.
And you haven't named a captain yet, but that's something you've been talking about the last couple weeks. Yeah, it'll come when it comes, but you're comfortable with those, the group that you have.
Like for me, like I mentioned yesterday, we're going to have a captain sooner and later. And like I mentioned, like, one of those guys is, we have more than one guy that can be a captain. I'm very impressed with the leadership that those guys are showing every day, and the quality of the person they are. So, like I said, we're going to have one sooner and later, but right now there's no rush, and we're going to take the time to go through the first 2-3 games of the year and settle down and see what we're doing with that.
Crunch are taking on the Hershey Bears tonight. It's the first of 76 games. We're here on Countdown at Crunch Time, presented by Supercuts. Head Coach Ben Groulx is our guest. You mentioned we've been talking about some of the changes to this team, but one position that has been solid from last year into this year is the goaltending, Eddie Pasquale and Connor Ingram. You announced yesterday it's Eddie who gets to start today. You also said, obviously, we've got 2 solid goaltenders, but why Eddie today?
Well, because you know what, he's been they're both been solid in preseason, and I just think that he's ready, they're both ready, but I just think he's ready, and it's a good fit for him tonight. And the way he's been working every day, his work ethic, his attitude, his competitiveness, I think it's a good fit for this building and this first game.
What are the things that you're going to be looking for in the first, I don't know, 10 minutes to know if your team is where you want it to be?
It's not 10 minutes. Like we go one game at a time, Lucas, and for us, it's what we want our team to do. It's be themselves. That's what we expect from our players, and we told them that they had the message that we got to skate, got to move the puck, and got to play hockey. Mistakes are part of the game. I think they understand more and more our philosophy and our structure and our habits, but they still got to play hockey, and we trust that the talent they have and the poise they're going to bring on the ice, they're going to be able to be successful.
And you look on the other side, the Hershey Bears, they missed the playoffs last year. They've got a new head coach. There's a lot of new coaches in the league this year. From what you've briefly seen maybe in a couple of their preseason games, what do you see from Hershey?
Well, they kick our butt at the rookie tournament, and so they were pretty impressive there. So we watch them in exhibition. I thought they're a fast, skilled team. They want to make plays. They want to challenge you, and so I think it's if both teams play the way they can, I think can be a very good game tonight here.
Yeah, you mentioned the rookie tournament. How much can you pull from that? I mean, obviously it's not the same teams, but how much do you pull out of that?
Well, when you look at both roster, you try to figure out this and that, and but you can tell that they have an identity, and they want to instill that identity in their team, and I think they're going to be ready as well with the support of their fans tonight.
All right, looking forward to it as the Crunch take on the Hershey Bears. It is the first of 76 games this year for the Crunch. This is Crunch head coach Ben Groulx. Ben, thanks for your time and good luck tonight.
Thanks.